Ladies and gentlemen, we have some economic statistics that are going to curl your toes. And I don't want to be the bearer of bad news because there are ways out of this, and we talk about those ways every single day. And I'm not going to burden you with those detailed descriptions today, but I'm telling you right now that if you're not paying attention to this and taking corrective action, if you're banking in the old traditional way, you're going to live to regret the day you didn't take the advice of the Common Sense Show and several other economists out there who are telling you the same thing that we're saying here. This is now becoming a consensus report. At one time, we were really breaking ground. Clay Clark approached me back in October of 2023. Said, come to my conference. I need you to speak about some of these things. Focus on CBDC and what people can do to get out of it. And at that time, not that many people were talking about it. Today, it's everywhere, but the masses are tuning it out. They think the old system's going to survive and everything is just going to be just fine. Well, wait till I tell you how well this old system is working for America. In this lengthy introduction, we're going to curl your toes. Let's get right to it. 1% of the country owns 30% of the assets. Well, that's almost the good news. That means 99% are fighting over the other 70%. That's also the best news you're going to get in this report. 10% own 86% of the country. 90% are fighting over 14%. The economic stratification's off the charts right now. We are one of the most top-heavy asset sharing system in the world. Not the most, but you have to go to really hardcore dictatorships. And I will argue, even though we do not have a political dictatorship in the strictest sense of the term, I will tell you we have an economic dictatorship that's independent of our political dictatorship. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about? I doubt that your history or government teacher taught you this in high school or even in college. But the Federal Reserve is neither federal nor reserve. They're a group of self-appointed oligarchs that think they have the right to dictate to the rest of the country. They're extra constitutional. They did deceptive moves in 1913 to have a quorum of smallest number possible while they kept all the other legislators in the dark as they went home for the Christmas holiday. And they ended up taking what we have. Your buying power has gone down over 97% since these people, these oligarchs, this independent agency took over our economy. The Constitution says Congress shall coin money, not the Federal Reserve will take it over and charge for every dollar they put into circulation, called a usury fee. It's inflationary on its face. Let's continue. We know 1% own 30%, 10% control 86% of the country. 40% own 14%, and the bottom 50% own almost nothing. I'll say it again. Half of this country owns almost nothing. Two-thirds of the country are living paycheck to paycheck. And you remember this statistic from about 2 years ago? The average American couldn't afford a $400 car repair bill without going into economic chaos. And then last year, I told you the stats were telling us 82% of Americans dipped into financial savings to pay for essentials like food and housing. We are in a mess. But what you'll do is you'll keep your darn money in the same system that is taking money from you. $100,000 in the bank, and in 6 years, it's going to be worth 50. 10,000, it's going to be worth 5,000. For the people in the bottom part, 500 will become 100. How do you keep up with that? You can't. Income has gone up a little over two times since 1984. The price of housing has gone up six and a half times. Gee, where'd the money go? Who's making those great profits over wages? Well, I can tell you. People who benefit from the Federal Reserve policies and the Federal Reserve people themselves. We don't need socialism to reorder this. We need the economic reset that says goodbye to the Federal Reserve and hello to sound monetary policy. And this means, and I'm going to cover this in many different ways over the next several weeks, because we could be looking at a collapse before the end of the year. And if we're not going to have a collapse, we're certainly going to have what they call a major readjustment. Call it what you will. For a lot of people, it's going to be catastrophic. And the people that can at least afford to go through this are the bottom 50% that own nothing. You look at our homeless rates across the country. We're seeing homeless on corners in affluent neighborhoods that we have never seen before, ever. You used to have to go to downtown, the most hardcore inner city places to see homeless. And all of a sudden now, they're on every off ramp, every on ramp of every highway, byway, and street in America. They are everywhere because the economy has hit rock bottom. The dollar is DOA. It's dead on arrival. It's just it hasn't been buried yet and it's barely breathing. What's going to happen? Gold revaluation because Donald Trump's in charge. Tariffs can't make up for this. I'll cover this in a later segment. But tariffs eventually, once we get the system stabilized, can carry the day. And that's going to be the topic of a future segment in the not too distant future. Want to get on top of things right now? Well, okay, you may not have a healthy dollar. Your economic situation may not be really good, but at least your health could be good. So if the health of the economy stinks, yours doesn't have to. And you can do what I have done. And I was shocked as I never dreamed that products like this could turn my life around. You heard my story, strip lung linings, RSV, got through the pneumonia okay, but I couldn't walk up a flight of stairs. Doctor, I'm sorry, Mr. Hodges, those lung linings aren't coming back at your age. We'll just have to adjust it. That means oxygen and all kinds of bad things in your future. And, make sure your family's secure. Yeah, this was a time too where some doctor's offices didn't allow relatives to come in with you, even if they had to drive you because you were too sick. So my wife picks me up and I says, I'm not accepting this. I know it's where I'm at, but I'm not accepting it. And then I started to walk and started to do some things. And Scotty Sachs showed up about a week later and said, Dave, Nanosoma spray boosts your immune system to unbelievable levels. Doesn't cure anything, but it'll help your body cure itself. Yeah, within a couple of weeks, I'm walking up those flight of stairs. I'm back in the gym and working my way back. And then I had joint pain that resurfaced. It stopped me playing basketball 26 years ago. And I started using that. And right here, the Nanosoma gel, and then the skin cream. It erases fine lines and wrinkles. I don't really look at that. I'm not that vain. But you saw the cut I had on my finger a month ago, right? I needed 4 to 6 stitches. Oh, just gonna put the cream on, wrap it up every day, repeat the process, and 2 weeks later, gone, no scar. And you guys who follow me, you saw the big bandage that was on that finger. Together, this is the 3-pack. You get 3 of the sprays, you get 1 of the gel, you get 1 of the skin cream, and you get it for 15% off. It's the starter pack. So if your economy can't be healthy, at least you can be healthy. And I'm warning you, take the steps I've been telling you. I haven't gone through them here in this video because I know what's coming up in future segments and I don't want to overlap the content. But we are in absolute crisis. And I will tell you this, you 10% who own 86%, that 10% number is going to shrink dramatically if you don't take corrective action. There's only a few people in this country who are immune to this process. And I mean a few. Oh, a lot of them reside in the Federal Reserve. Anyway, make sure you go to iwantmyhealthback.com/Dave Hodges. Enjoy the good health while we're fighting the fight.